Hello and welcome to the Car Care Nut channel. So we all have commutes to work, we all drive to work. Some of us drive long distances, like myself. I drive 30 plus miles one way to work every day. So I'm driving over 60 miles at least every single day. So the roads we drive in, we share them with other drivers. Some of them are great drivers, some of them are better drivers than we are. Unfortunately, some of them are distracted drivers, new drivers, drivers who are been on the road for very long, sleepy, falling asleep, whatever the case may be. Dash cams have become very popular lately with drivers on the road. They were popular in other parts of the world. I'm sure you've all seen car accident videos on YouTube that are caught with dash cams. However, they're becoming a lot more popular in the United States and other parts of the world. So a company called VanTrue sent me a camera to review, and I purposefully spent a very long time testing this camera because I think this is something that you're gonna kind of set and forget and then use it when, God forbid, you get in an accident, because there's no better way to convince a judge or a police officer of what actually happened than to show them what happened. And otherwise, it's your word against the other driver's word. So, before we get started with the review, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some of my other videos. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. And without further ado, let's go check this thing out. So, the VanTrue camera. Before we got started with the review, I just want to say one thing. If you're a frequent to my channel, you'll know that my reviews are not conventional, but if you're new to the channel, I'll just give you a brief thing. I am not into the technical specs and all the stuff you can Google and find yourself about the camera, which you probably already know if you're watching this review. I'm about the real world stuff. How does this thing actually function in the real world? Not interested in the specs, I'm more interested in how it works and how you can get an honest opinion on how this thing works, at least my humble opinion. So, this is the N4 model of their lineup. They have many products, they have many different options. In my humble opinion, this appears to be the high-end model with a giant price tag of $250 as of the time of filming this video. Now, it's a three-way camera. So, this is the main camera. It has one camera that faces the road, another camera that faces the passengers, so you can see if your new driver kid is texting while he's driving. That's why he crashed your car you just bought him. And then there's a third camera that goes behind. It's on the back window or whatever the case may be where you install it to film behind you in case somebody was texting and they crashed into you. I guess it's a comprehensive system that covers all corners of the car. Some people will not want such a comprehensive camera, but this is the best option if you want full coverage. So my first impressions are, and I'm not going to unbox it because honestly the stuff is already installed in my car and I just yanked the camera back so I can show you, but it comes with almost everything you need to plug and play. Comes with the camera itself, comes with another camera in the back, comes with all the wiring you need, very long wire to run the rear camera so you can hide it behind trim, behind whatever the case may be, and then it comes with another wire that goes from the camera to your cigarette lighter, and life is good. Now, in my opinion, a camera needs to do the basic function, other than all the settings and all the little things that it does. It needs to be a good camera. If it's not a good camera, I don't care what features it has. It's no good, because if you can't see what you're filming, what's the point of all the other features? With dash cams, you usually see the big screen that they have. And a lot of people complain, and I don't like screens glaring in my face when I'm driving. I'm just one of those people that don't like screens. So a lot of people buy dash cameras or look purposefully for one that does not have a screen. The coolest thing about this one is when I first got it, I'm like, oh boy, here comes another screen glaring in my face. But this one does have an option to turn off that screen, so you're not driving with that glare in your face. After 5 seconds of starting the camera, you can set it up where it just shuts off, and that's that. There's a little blue light that flashes, letting you know that the thing is recording, and that light didn't seem distracting at all, in my opinion. Now, the biggest thing about this camera, which I think is the biggest pro, is the video quality. I mean, day, night, gloomy, sunny. The thing was really high quality and it was very impressive. I understand some folks will have a problem with its price point, but this is the top of the line model. They do have some other cheaper models and other competition. I'm not saying go run and buy this one because it's the best. Obviously, there's better and there's worse, but this one is a very good choice in my opinion. Let's look at some of the footage that I shot with this camera. So this is the first footage. This is just a sunny day, driving, clear weather. You can tell that the camera quality is super high. And the nice thing is how stable the image is. So the car I'm driving is a very old car. It's very bumpy. It's not exactly the smoothest car, but as you can tell from the imagery, it's very smooth, and I really like that. And it does give a little bit of a fisheye effect, but because of it's a wide angle camera, but it covers the whole car, and I didn't even have to spend a lot of time to adjust it to get it perfect. I literally just slapped the thing on the windshield, maybe adjusted it for a couple seconds, and this is the picture you get. By the way, guys, this is a picture that is not edited in the software that I use to edit my videos. This is just straight from the camera. This is the same footage, but in the back camera. Now you can notice there's a little bit of glare here. There is my third brake light in the car reflects on the camera every time I hit the brakes. Even with the glare of the sun, and that fisheye effect is the same thing on the back camera, but it's still a very clear picture. At this point, the sun is starting to come down, so it's starting to get a little bit darker, but it's still a very nice and very clear image covering the whole back of the car. This also was very simple to set up. I literally just put it in one place and it was a glue on, so I was a little nervous that I was not going to get a good angle, but actually this is a very good angle for the car. And then here is yours truly coming back from work, very happy to come home, very tired, but as you can see, it really films the inside of the car very clearly. Again, that fisheye effect is a little less here, but still apparent, but it gives you a whole shot of the whole car, window to window, where you can see everything. I think this would be a great option for if you're like a rideshare, Uber, Lyft. You can see your passengers in case something happens, and you can have it on camera. And this thing is very clear. And this is a night shot. Now there's a little bit of rain, and not heavy rain, but a little bit on the windshield, and you can see the reflection of the rain on the glass, but still, that is a very clear picture. Now the car I'm driving as well doesn't have the greatest headlights in the world. The street I'm driving in is lit. It is still a very clear picture. Here's a shot of the back camera at night. And here's a shot inside the car at night. Now the camera does change into night mode, and you can tell it's very clear inside the car, even though this is pitch dark inside the car. I mean, there's no lights inside the car. That is very impressive, where you can even see the details at night inside the car. Here's an additional shot, and this is the last one, with rain. Now, even with rain splashing all over the windshield and the wipers going, you can still see very clearly where if anything happened that you wanted to catch on camera, it will clearly be there. So as you can see, that's really the biggest plus with this camera. The quality is very impressive. I think for what it does and what you're going to use it for, it's very impressive. It's not a professional camera. It is not a mirrorless or a GoPro and all that stuff. But for what its intended purpose is, the picture is very clear, day and night, very clear inside, very clear behind you. And I think it's a great option in my opinion. Now, having said that, you remember at the beginning of the review, I told you it's almost plug and play. And this is possibly the biggest thing that I was disappointed with when I got this camera. So my thing is, when you buy a product, whatever the product may be, this is not a specialized product. This is not some special tool that needs a professional to use or a professional camera. This is a consumer product. You get a product that you pay $250 out of your hard-earned money. You want to plug, play, set, forget. This is not the case with this camera. You have all the wires, you have everything you need to install this camera, but one vital thing, it does not come with a memory card. Then it doesn't end there, because I had some issues with the camera when I got it. I got the camera, did not have an SD card. Well, I have a million SD cards laying around because I do YouTube videos and I have cameras that use the same micro SD card that this thing uses. So I took my SanDisk, put it here, formatted it. You can format it through the camera to make sure it's working properly. And the thing just kept stop recording every time you restart the car, stop recording, and it stopped recording halfway, and it corrupts the data. And I was confused, like, what's going on here? Is this thing broken? Did they send me a broken unit? Well, actually, it turns out it was my fault, because when I go and read their owner's manual that it comes with, a very nicely printed and actually very informative owner's manual, it clearly says you cannot use SanDisk with this camera. It is not recommended. The highest size you can use, 256 gigabytes, but they explicitly say do not use SanDisk with this camera. Don't know why. I'm not a tech guy. I fix cars and their technology, but I'm not into computer tech stuff. But that's kind of a disappointment, because I don't know about you, but when I pop up in the local Best Buy or any computer store around me, that's all you have. But if I can't use the most popular SD card, that's kind of a negative on this camera. So you need to be aware of this if you're buying one. However, the company that sells this, they have their own SD card, which makes it even odd to me that they don't include it with the sale, but that's their thing. Maybe after watching this video, they will reconsider it. You need to buy that. And if you want to buy the biggest one, it's 256 gigabytes, which is a lot for recording, but it's also $50 at the time of filming this video. So that's another $50 you're adding to this. So really the real price of this is $300, which kind of gets a little high, and that's another con for this camera. It's a little on the high price range, but it is also a very quality camera. The build quality is very nice. Everything feels nice and solid. The wires seem like they're well made. I have no complaints about the quality. What I do love about this camera, in addition to its ease of install and almost complete plug and play ability, is the mounts. I love the front mount. I really dislike the rear mount. Let's talk about that. So the front mount is very simple. It just clips into the camera like so. And this took me a little bit of a while to figure out, because of course I'm stubborn. I don't read the owner's manual first. When you put this on the glass, you need to put it on and then twist this to lock it. I didn't figure this out initially, so that was kind of confusing, but I think this is actually a very nice feature that you can actually just swing this and lock it, and now you don't have to. And this is where your power goes in. On the side, you have a plug for the rear camera, and then the SD card slot, HDMI out. It also has a reset button right here, and that's about it. It really is a simple camera to use. You don't need to find, it has a lot of settings in it, which honestly, the first day you're gonna get this camera, you're gonna fumble with all the settings and all that, and then you'll set it and forget it. So I'm not gonna waste your time in this review going through every little setting. It does so much, but the highlight of the settings is you can program the screen to shut off, and you can play back your videos in there, and you can, with a click of a button, highlight a video so the camera doesn't loop. All these dash cams, folks, they record 5 minutes and they stop, making a next file, and then when the memory gets full, they start erasing the oldest file. So when you mark or lock or protect a file as an event, it won't erase that one file. When it feels there's an impact, it's not gonna erase that file because it knows there was an event, if you would. One thing I don't like about the rear camera, which I wish they did the same as the front camera. So the rear camera has a double-sided tape where you just glue it to the window. That can be a little, if you glue it, then you don't want to move it. You want to move it to another car, now you're pulling the glue. They do give you 2 strips of glue, but I kind of wish they would have a suction cup for the back one, something small that I think at this price point would be nice, but it's not the end of the world. But I thought I'd let you know about this one too. Folks, this is a nice camera. It's a little bit on the pricey side, needs an SD card, has a lot of options, but the biggest thing about this camera is the quality of the image. And in my opinion, that's the most important thing. I don't care about all the fancy dancy options that this thing has. If it can't record a clear picture, it's not a camera, it's no good. The manufacturer of this camera was nice enough to provide us with a discount. I will leave all their information and their camera and their discount code in the description of this video. If you're interested, if you like it, if you've done your research and this is a camera for you, you can use some little discount courtesy from the company through my review, which I appreciate. I hope this video was helpful or informative. I hope you learned something new. Folks, this is a nice camera. I think it's a good protection whether you're buying this one or another one. I actually encourage you to get a dash cam, but do me one favor. Don't let that cord hang down and obstruct your view. Try to tie it up, go around, find a camera that has a long enough cable, which this one does, both for the front and the rear camera, and call it a day. It's better safe than sorry, I suppose. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. Check out some of my other videos. And until the next video, guys, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have a wonderful day.